I found this article on Bleeding Fool. Just when you thought, just when you thought these people couldn't get any weirder, you get surprised. Convention now monitoring attendees for wrongthink year-round by John De La Rose, July 13th. It's sad watching the convention scene take playbooks from the shrieking weirdos that further dive deeper into losing their purpose, gathering to promote fun, science fiction, and fantasy, and for their attendees to have a good time. It's a cultural gathering, and they should be taking a look at LibertyCon's model, as that convention sells out faster and faster every year. It doesn't have a lick of politics involved in it. Why would conventions have politics in it? That seems crazy to me. Everyone has a good time. A little converged cancer from Convergence's website. Check this out. This is 1984 wrongthink here. Doublespeak. For many of us, the past may have been rough or bleak, characterized by bullying, marginalization, or even exclusion. We, each of us, found a home within the Convergence community, connecting with people with similar passions and similar backgrounds, found people with life experience that if they didn't parallel, at least related on some level, give us some common ground and overall common link to one another. Because of that, we have strived to build a safe community with zero tolerance for the negative things we have each faced in the outside world. That seems... Strive to build a safe community with zero tolerance for the negative things. You mean disagreement, dialogue, and debate? So you literally want an echo chamber? But that's no longer enough. As times have changed, our understanding, Trump, am I right? 2016. Our understanding of issues of boundaries, of behavior has also changed, as have our understanding of what it takes to create a safe space. To create a, well, if you want a safe space, you better build high walls. Create a welcoming community that embraces everyone. Okay, well, this is an oxymoron. You want a safe space to exclude people with wrongthink, but you want a welcoming community that embraces everyone. Pick one, because that is a logical inconsistency. It is no longer enough to merely put words on paper or create a policy. We have to engage our core values, not just at the convention, but in our everyday lives. We have to do more than welcome or even celebrate diversity. We have to seek it out and bring it into our community in order to help our community thrive. We have to strive to be better. Yikes, my guy. For these reasons, as we embark on the next celebration to a new space, we will be boldly going where no convention has gone before. From this point forward, we will challenge everyone in our community to be their best selves, and in doing so, change all of our members to embrace the core values of Convergence, both inside the convention and out. Let me read that again. Charge all of our members to embrace the core values of Convergence, both inside the convention and outside the convention. We will hold ourselves accountable to those standards. No, you won't. Our peer review will no longer stop at the end of the convention, but rather we will hold our members to account for their behavior and themselves year-round. Unacceptable actions and behavior will not be tolerated, whether they happen at the convention or abroad. If it is harming people, as determined by us, if it is damaging to our community, Trump voters, am I right? It is not acceptable, and we will address such actions and behaviors swiftly and fairly. I don't think you'll do it fairly. Within that word salad, they are letting members and attendees know that they will be monitoring your speech year-round outside the convention to make sure they don't have anyone who wrongthinks inadvertently attend their convention. How creepy is this? It's very, very creepy. But to be honest, they were probably sort of doing it before. If they had probably before they invited people, they were looking at their social media to see if they were right of center or left of center. And if they're right of center, they're probably not getting invitations already. We already have a big tech monitoring us and recording us through our devices, but now these little conventions that are just supposed to be about folks showing up and talking sci-fi are going to make sure they watch us. They'll call it behavior. What they mean is that you have to have sufficient woke extreme left-wing politics to be welcome, as they elaborate further. Lastly, we will put stronger, more direct efforts into diversity, equity, and inclusion to help those most marginalized by our society. I wonder if by diversity, I mean diversity of thought. For example, the Swedish and the English are also diverse. They are completely different people. Do you mean like Swedish, English, Russian, Italians? There's that kind of diversity? Or are you talking about surface level characteristics? Help those most marginalized by our society. I guess you're talking about the Irish, who are often missing from our community, to be a larger part of it. And for our programming guests and services convention as a whole to reflect these priorities is no longer enough to merely leave the door open. We must engage underrepresented groups. Probably the Russians and the Greeks, because they're pretty underrepresented, especially the communities of color. Well, all communities are of color because all humans are of color, and every human and every human group has been marginalized or oppressed in the past. Not only welcome them, but actively recruit and engage them in being a part of our community until it's recognized as their community as well. If they're interested in your convention, they will attend. Gee, doesn't this convention sound like it's going to be loads of fun? They won't exist in 5-10 years because what normal family would go spend their weekend dealing with this nonsense? Good point. They'd much rather read one of my books where there's no identity politics, just a ton of fun. The Blood of Giants is the best example of my work, and it's finally out on audio too. Make sure to pick it up now. Originally published here. Convention Conversions. Okay. He's a best-selling author on Amazon, the leading Hispanic voice in science fiction, blah, 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 blah. Steampunk's cool. I like science fiction and steampunk. Oakland Coliseum cheering on the A's. Okay. And Flying Sparks, of course. This was just one of the weirdest things I read, and the idea that they have the SJWs and NPCs have zero self-awareness. Anyway, how would they feel if these rules were used against them? Somehow, I don't think they'd be accepting of it. If they're ever called out for their toxic behavior, their sexism, their own racism, these are the worst of people. Anyway, subscribe if you're not already subscribed, and like and comment. Thanks.